When I think about what truly defines a man, like I said, it's taking responsibility of others. It's not just being solely responsible for yourself. And I think that's the big catalyst into being a man. Sometimes it takes getting married, sometimes it takes having kids. Sometimes you're forced to it when you're a child, and now you're living life a little more like a man than a child. And we see a lot of people go through that. Once you start realizing you're responsible for just more than just you're now taking on the burdens of being a man. And the funny thing is, I don't know if there's not really an age that can happen. We all probably know people who are grown men who are in their 40s or don't know how to handle responsibility of others and don't know how to lead properly.
Shit, I'm about to go wait in this place when you dropping the bass in. The beat inside the streets of awaken. I'm making to break my foot off of somebody's ass. I'm waiting for someone to say my name so I can annihilate them. Okay, yeah. Everyone was screaming the rape when I was kicking at the gate till it caved in. Belly scraping by, but now I'm paid. Look at the paper I raked and I'm caking like Jay-Z and Drake. And I hate when people say that I ain't killing shit. The game is my playpen. I punch you in the face and end up breaking your break bands. I'm far from Hollywood. I'm posted up at the days in. Even though the industry say I'm the latest sensation. Drop the song at the award show. Becoming complacent. Mama saw me on TV with just a bum in the basement. You a Captain Save a whole you just
What up, everybody? You Control You podcast. You know how we start every episode off with what we're grateful for. I'm grateful for family, God, life, time, small window of no fights, to spend more time with family. Extremely grateful to friends and everybody in my life. So yeah, what are you grateful for? How is everybody else doing out there? Today's episode, what defines man? What defines man? Man or manhood? What did I say? Manhood. What defines manhood? And this is something that I believe gets talked about a lot. Some people talk about how many women you get makes you a man. How much money you make makes you a man. What you're doing and how you're moving in your life makes you a man. Does 18 make you a man because now you can sign up for the military? Does 21 make you a man because now you could drink? 16 because you could drive? So lots of people have a lot of different ideas and a lot of different claims. So for me, what defines manhood to me? And this one has been really clear to me, at least the top two for me. Responsibility, being responsible of others, being responsible for more than just yourself. Once you learn that, I believe that transitions you into manhood. And really, once this one's interesting for me to talk about. Once you remove light from your life, it sounds so sad, but I believe in order to master yourself and become a better version of you, you have to stop being blind. What's the word I'm looking for here? Naive. Stop being naive about life and realize what's going on. So, though those are the first two things that come to mind. Some quotes that I've been working on that I'll be releasing in a little bit. Self-mastery isn't about power over others. It's about being untouchable because you've already claimed dominion over the only thing that matters, yourself. I also believe mastering self-mastery, having control over your emotions, having control over what you're doing in your life, not allowing any of your darker sides take control of you. So, yeah. Now, we have someone in the building today, and she mentioned leadership. And I believe leadership does fall in there. And I believe in order to be a leader, you have to master self and take responsibility of others. However, I don't know if just being a leader qualifies as just as a I think it's a good thing to have as far as being a man. But there's lots of leaders out there that I wouldn't necessarily call a man. So leader of teams, leader in schools, leaders all across the workplace and workforce, I wouldn't necessarily call them men. And maybe that's the difference between them being a true leader and a boss. And there is a difference there. A boss will tell you what to do. A leader will gladly show you how to do it and guide you through that. And maybe that's the differences as well. So when I think about what truly defines a man, like I said, it's taking responsibility of others. It's not just being solely responsible for yourself. And I think that's the big catalyst into being a man. Sometimes it takes getting married, sometimes it takes having kids, sometimes you're forced to it when you're a child, and now you're living life a little more like a man than a child, and we see a lot of people go through that. Once you start realizing you're responsible for just more than just you're now taking on the burdens of being a man. And the funny thing is, I don't know if there's not really an age that can happen. We all probably know people who are grown men who are in their 40s or 50s who don't know how to handle responsibility of others and don't know how to lead properly. And so you run into some major problems there. Now, another quote I have is, "A boy wants to be seen. A man wants to see others thrive. Being a man isn't about power, it's about responsibility. Your strength means nothing if it isn't used to protect what's fragile. You don't become a man when you can fight. You become a man when you know what's worth fighting for." That that one is that one goes back to having responsibility of others and realizing that this world isn't about you. Realizing that every move you make has to be the betterment of others. And I I truly believe that right there is where a lot of young boys and our youth is truly not learning. One, because of lack of men being around and mentoring them or helping them or just being a father, but also it's really shunned. When I think about the ways that I have to move in order to take care of my family, it requires me to work a lot. It requires me to do a lot of the things that may not be conducive to family all the time. And that people talk about this balance that you must have, but sometimes that balance isn't 50-50. A lot of times it's not 50-50. If you're building a business, that's going to require a lot of work. If you are a truck driver, it's going to require a lot of work. If you're working on an oil rig, it's going to require some crazy hours. Like, a man's job is to be responsible of others and take care of others. And a lot of times that's financially, right? And so if your wife wants you at home for this, but you know you have to work and that's a problem, you have to be willing to take that on the chin. You have to be willing to have your family not like you sometimes. You can't be their best friends. You can't be their everything, right? You think about your kids. When you have kids, you can't be their best friends. You could be close to them, but a best friend can't hand out punishment, right? You can't ground them. You can't remove things from their life. So it keeps you from being a best friend. And you got to be okay with that. You got to be okay with your kids not liking you sometimes. You got to be okay with your significant other not liking you. So that sucks too. Let's see. We got people chiming in. Respect others, values others as equals, doesn't need to prove strength by dominating others. What do you mean by values others as equals? That I'm curious about. That should be interesting. We're going to spark a debate already. I see it. I see it. I feel it in my bones. As far as doesn't need to prove strength by dominating others. Yeah, I don't need I truly agree with that. I think dominating others isn't needed. Maybe two areas. One, if someone attacks, full domination. And two, well, sometimes behind closed doors, it could be fun. So, um, that one, but it's dependent, right? And that's consensual, right? We won't go into that realm right now. Yeah, we're not going to go down that lane. We're going to avoid that lane as much as possible. So, as one of the things that I've already mentioned as I go to certain things here is that it's controlling your darker sides, your what's the word I'm looking for here, Corey? Your darker controlling your addictions, shadow side. It's controlling all of that. Let's work with shadow side. Let's work with shadow side and darker side because that seems to be a thing that's talked about now. Healing yourself and getting over trauma. As a man, I believe you have to take control of your emotions. You cannot let that side of you come out and just be reckless all the time. You're going to slip up, you're going to make mistakes, but you have to learn how to be stoic. You have to learn how to breathe, deal with this, and be able to walk away and not engage in needless conversations and arguments. When you really think about it, it's pointless to have a full-blown argument with your significant other. We'll say wife, right? Why should I engage in an argument with my wife? What good is that going to do me? Right? No matter what, I'm going to be in the wrong, right? Because if I continue to argue with someone that their emotions are going chaotic, I can't get anywhere. You're better off just staying calm and diffusing it as much as possible. And that takes a lot of work because if you're dealing with things, you gotta be able to stay calm during that. I think what I was more or less looking for is if you had a long day at work and you need to take a drink or you need to do something. And so whatever you use to shut it off, you can't allow that to control you. You must have control of self at all times. And this is something that I do on and off throughout life. And so, where I feel the need to not do certain things, right? So, I don't drink very often, but if I feel myself having a shot of whiskey or something, or a glass of whiskey a couple times, couple days in a row, I'll shut it down. It's like, nope, nope, can't let this become a habit. If I drink energy drinks too often, like I just shut energy drinks down basically starting today for the next 90 days, just because it was I was starting to feel like I was maybe drinking them too often, having them every day, and I don't want to become reliant on that. And so cutting that out. It seems weird for me to talk about, but when I went celibate for a while, when I was going through a breakup and a separation and all this stuff, I was like, we're not gonna hand it out no more. We're not gonna just give it to anybody. We're gonna keep that energy within. So just to prove that I could to myself, I don't need to prove it to anyone else. It's always proving it to me, like making sure that I have control over my faculties. What define? Wait a minute. Inner demons. What inner demon? Wait, what? Wait, is there something before that, Corey? Oh, inner demons. I got you. I got you. Okay. And then what's after that? Have and take accountability. Yeah, of course. A man should. That's being responsible for others. Is first taking accountability and responsibility of self. And so I think you can't take responsibility of others until you take responsibility of self. So for sure. I am curious though, what is treating people like equals? What is that? I want to know what that means, because I cannot treat a woman as an equal. I cannot treat her the same as I treat a man. That would be all bad. All bad. That you are not better than her. Oh yeah, but yeah, that's an interesting topic too that I hear. What do they call them? Red pills? Is that what they call them? The red pill conversation, where they're talking about who's the prize, the man or the woman. And it's always interesting hearing men and women debate that. And so, who's really the prize? And I truly believe I'm not better than anyone else. Nobody's better than me. I work really hard to live my life like that, only because my ego will come out and do craziness. TikTok is not happy, huh? I know Facebook. Cool. TikTok just wants to be a pain in the butt. Um, so when 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 I think about the age I probably consider myself a man, mm, truly full-fledged father, like manhood, is probably when I became a father. So when I turned 20, yeah, like right before 24. So 23, 24. Now I showed characteristics of being a man before that. So from an early age, just dealing with different things in my life, dealing with different responsibilities, having to handle certain things at an early age. But full-fledged being a man, I would say 23, 24. So, and then learning as I go, making tons of mistakes and considering and continuing to go forward. And that's why I say, like, they're not going to be, everybody's not going to be on your side on this. So, yeah, appeal that. What are we, man? TikTok is bugging. No, appeal that. Man, they're bugging. Bugging. That's craziness. That you are no better. Yeah, I don't think. What? Oh, appeal approved? Appeal it again. Stop being a hater. What am I talking about? What, do you not like the fact, man, this is TikTok is going crazy now. What am I supposed to talk about? Yeah, woman, man, I can't talk about something I don't know nothing about. I can't talk about what it's like being a woman. That's a whole different walk of life. I don't even know what it would be like to walk around. Like, I know as a man, I have to be prepared to fight at any moment in time with another man. I have the capabilities of doing that. I don't know what it's like to not have the capabilities of doing that. And nah, I don't know what that's like. I don't want to live in that fear. That's crazy to me. They just don't like this conversation, huh? That upsets me more than anything else. Yeah, they're being a hater. That's okay. Well, yeah, they're not, man. Yeah, exactly. It's like I'm not preaching for men to do wild things. I'm preaching for them to take responsibility of themselves. Have self-control, self-mastery. Be responsible of others. Take care of what you need to take care of. Make sure that you are living a oh my goodness, living a good life.
Just said in here, some comments in this live filtered to protect the experience. So it doesn't pop up on here, but now that I'm looking at it on my phone, that's what it says in here.
Well, you just started something. See, you did something. You commented wrong. Didn't like your comments. Doesn't like your comments unless someone else is bugging. But they let the throat thing go when I had my family in here.
Yeah, somehow that did break through.
Man, because TikTok is bugging. It's okay. Whatever. Oh, maybe, but that's still. Ugh. I've talked about way worse on here. Way worse. Way worse. But that's okay. We're gonna keep it going. For me, those are the things that when I really think about what defines manhood, it's like I said, self-mastery, taking responsibility of yourself, being responsible for others. And you could sum that up as a leader for sure. I believe leader is another trait, though. Leader is a separate trait where being a leader, you're not, man, being a man, you got to recognize you're not going to be liked as a man. You can't people please as a man. People are just not going to like you. I guarantee, well, there's three men in the studio right now. And I guarantee that the other two will say their family or their significant others are not always happy with them. I could be wrong. Yep. There we go. And what about the youngest one out there? Is your significant other always happy with you? Yeah, see. How much of it is it tied to work? Or what you guys would consider just being a man? Just being a dude. Just being a guy. Yeah, work. Always work, man. Always work. Always work. It's always work. Not always, but a lot of times it's work. And so, and it's weird because as we get older, we realize that we should spend time with family more often. It's not till we're older where we have the means to do that. Right. And so you learn how to, at least for me, I've learned how to make 10 minutes into a hardcore, dedicated 10 minutes. If it's 30 minutes, I dedicate that hardcore 30 minutes. And then I cut corners sometimes, meaning like yesterday, of course, I'm at work and I'm working, I'm holding pads, I'm doing things. But then when it comes to sparring time and I'm done holding pads, I don't have a fight. I could sit there and coach, but why not just let them figure it out? So I dipped and then I beat my son in Stratego. So and took him to get some football stuff. So that was working. What do we say here? What can women do to help shift that energy? What do you mean shift that energy? Work energy? Nothing. Um, no, work isn't. So what it really comes down to, and this is what I've learned, and I may not speak for all women on this one, but one thing I've learned studying this is that women just want to feel like they're wanted, they're loved, they're tended to. And while we're at work, we're not doing that, right? And so, and then if we come home and we don't shut it off, we definitely can't do that. Now, that took me a while. That took me one marriage to figure it out. So I had to go through a marriage, have a marriage fall apart to actually figure that part out. And I'm not perfect at it. So it's learning to shut it off, prioritized. Yeah. 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 They need to feel like a priority. That's weird. That's, I get it. It's not, okay, let me say this. It's not weird. It's just, this is what blows my mind. We're not working for ourselves. Because if we were by ourselves, we probably don't have to work so much. I could be wrong on this. If we were by ourselves and didn't have the things that we have to pay for, clothes, food for kids, wife, and all that, I mean, I might still work this much, but that's because I'm building something. But I would have more time to do stuff that maybe I want to do. Am I wrong on this, Corey? Are you with me on this?
Give me the premise of your argument.
So if you were single, right?
Yeah.
No kids.
Okay.
Would you probably still work as much, right?
Yeah, I'm still working. I'd probably even be more driven.
There you go.
Because my time wouldn't have been being divided.
Yeah. So we do make our family a priority. It's just not as much as a priority as maybe wanted. And that's something you've seen shift um in society. Because if you look at look at like what, the 40s, 50s, 60s, didn't men work like 8 to 12 hours? Came home, things were different, right? They were gone. There was no way to contact them via cell phone. Matter of fact, the comedians, I've heard comedians make jokes about it. Like back in the day, a father wouldn't even know what happened in his own house until he got home from work. Somebody could have went to the hospital, came back, had stitches in their head, and nobody knew because you weren't calling dad at work, right? So because he wasn't leaving work. So it's interesting how things have shifted.
I think a contributor to that is that back in the day there was more defined role.
Very, yeah.
But now, even with folks that we've interviewed, you'll have professional women that are coming home and looking to, have that special quality time. And then if we're also not in that space, like I think that continues that add up. And so I think in the old days it was more expectations, super defined. Now you have a lot of different moving pieces. And I think families are trying to figure out how
How to move.
how to best move forward now. There's so many moving pieces.
Yeah.
And then how do you carve out the time that each person needs, what they need from each other? How do you continuously make space? Because it may not just be the man that's scatterbrained coming home. It could be the wife that's scatterbrained coming home because now there's pressures there, there's deliveries there that have to be made. There's, I got to fly out, I got to do this, and so now that dedicated time, even though maybe it was maybe a little bit less, it's just not dedicated time anymore.
Yeah. And if you don't make your woman feel prioritized, you're probably not getting booty. Because she needs that emotional connection so you can get your physical connection, which then ties into an emotional connection. It's crazy how these things work.
But if none of those connections are happening,
then you just have a
connection just disintegrates.
Yeah. Man. See, so much to think about as a man. So much to think about.
Both sides.
Let me go conquer the world. Yeah, but see, here's the difference that I do agree with the red pill stuff. A man doesn't care so much. He doesn't pick his woman based on career or driven. On an average, he doesn't. And it's still, you can still see that because society hasn't changed enough where a queen can make a king, but a king can make a queen. You could disagree, but based on the countries that have monarchy, a queen can't make a king. Can make what's it called? A prince consort or a king consort, but he has no power. He has none. No power. None. But a king can marry whoever and she automatically becomes the queen. Automatically. And that's still true today in the countries that still have monarchy. And society hasn't shifted too much because how many millionaire women are picking up dudes? It happens, but it doesn't happen often. Are picking up dudes and just taking them around on trips that don't have a job, that don't have anything. But men are still willing to do that with women because men don't care. Like if a man is successful, he doesn't care. He really doesn't care. He doesn't care if she's working. He doesn't care if she's doing this. If she has a job, great. If she went to school, great. Those aren't typical things that you hear men talk about. I know if I'm single right now and I meet a woman, I don't care what she does as far as work.
What do you care about?
Yeah. Well, I mean, what do I care about as far as being in a relationship with a woman? Nowadays, I mean, it's always been this way. Probably, her being respectful, her wanting a family, wanting to care about her family, her willing to. I think respect just summed it up for me because when everything else I'm about to name goes into respect. So
things like
she shouldn't.
Ambition.
I don't care if she's ambitious in the way that I'm ambitious. Actually, I would prefer her not to be because then we're just trying to conquer the world separately. And Well, that goes into respect, though. That I would say, if she supports me and respects me, that goes into respect to me. Respect my vision, respect my dream, recognize that now these are the relationships I'm choosing. So when I say this, I'm the Michael Jordan, I'm the Kobe Bryant. I'm where I go, we're going. So
So if another Kobe Bryant came along,
I probably wouldn't.
or if a Caitlin Clark came along that says, I'm going to take this space by storm, and I got all these ideas of how I want to move and the things that I can do, and I got the ambition,
Then
I got the talent, I
yeah.
got the know-how to be able to make that work. Is that all of a sudden end of the day?
So I do this with my wife now. She hit me, she was like, I think I want to start making candles and create a business. And I instantly flooded her with this how we can run the business, this how we could do this how we could do this, and this, and this. And I was ready to play the tambourine. And every time she comes with an idea and I'm ready to play the tambourine, she's not so, she doesn't really want to play, she doesn't want to take the lead on that. She just wants to do it for fun. And so I don't know what that would be like fully to be in a relationship with someone that's as driven and militant as me. I don't know when I look at it though, I don't see how it would work because how do we have a family? How do we, because someone's got to play the tambourine, right? Someone has to step back. And how are we going to balance that? Who's going to raise the kids now? Who's going to be around the kids more often? And that, for me, I don't see how that would work. It doesn't mean that it couldn't. I just don't see it. And I wouldn't know how to handle my response. Like I would continue to handle my responsibility as a man. I would work hard. I would do all this. But at some point, one of us is going to have to step back. And who's going to step back? Who's going to do that? Right? And so who's going to handle the responsibility with the kids more often? And from what I've seen and what I've learned, there's a reason why there's not more stay-at-home men. It's not that men don't want to do that. It's not that men don't have the capabilities of doing that. It's just if a man is at home all day and a woman is working, she's now in what do they call that? Her masculine energy to go do those things, right? There are some things that make us different. Men are really good at compartmentalizing. We can shut things off and still go function in the bedroom, right? We can still go do those things and handle what we need to handle. And that's a gift that we were given. We're able to, we deal with stresses a little bit better. And it might just be because we can bury our emotions down deep and not deal with it right then. And so you still don't see a lot of women being attracted to men that are willing to stay at home. So if you look at that evidence, right, and filter and then just look at that, how's it going to work? Who's raising the kids now? The school systems are getting better. The world isn't getting better to just send your kids off. Now, I might be really sounding real old school here, but I'm good with my kids being homeschooled. If I have more kids, I'm good with them being at home and being homeschooled, right? And I'm willing to make whatever sacrifices needed to make that happen. If that means I work 80 hours in a week, 100 hours in the week, then so be it. Right? So that's...
I only bring that up because I think that feeds into the argument of another guest that we had who said that the men I'm looking for aren't here. And part of that I do think was based upon, access and race, because she was looking for a particular man.
She's looking for black men.
But at the same time, she's a career woman. And she even stated herself, like, when I come home, I don't want to have to worry about X, Y, and Z and have to make these decisions and things of that sort. Like, I want somebody that's, when I come home, like, I can put my feet up
Leader.
after a stressful day and that things can be taken care of.
Yeah, she wants a leader at home. And so that's a very special woman right there that wants that. Now, she also said she doesn't want him. He has to be ambitious, though.
Yes, yes.
So here's a and I believe, and I could be wrong. I don't know. I didn't ask her if she was planning on having more kids.
Right.
It's different if she doesn't have kids, right? Or if she isn't planning on having more kids, right? So if I'm with a woman, like if my wife told me she doesn't want to have kids now, one, we're gonna have an issue because, well, I had a second surgery to make that happen. So if we're not trying, I'm gonna be very frustrated. But beyond that, if we didn't have kids, right, and she all of a sudden wanted to do something, she got really ambitious, and my business is situated. If that requires me to cook more or clean more, do those things more, then so be it. I can handle that, right? But that's because we don't have kids. Now, I married a woman that loves the fact that I'm ambitious, and she's learned to schedule out dates, right? Like, okay, you got to be here. We got to do this day. We got to do this. And she's told me, like, even the holidays, there's only one holiday out of the year that I'm required to take off of work. And if she didn't clear that, and if we didn't talk about that beforehand, I wouldn't have taken it off work. So it's a weird concept, but there's that guest, like there's not a lot of women like that though, on an average, right? That want that. What are your thoughts on the concept in the United States? Us is a civic religion. Wait, what? Principles and the practical application thereof. I mean, that's a whole different topic of a conversation. We're not diving into that one. Uh, ski schools, yeah, like it's not even just the violence that's in schools. Like that's my school was really violent. It's just the education system overall, right? I can if I have the ability to have my kids at home and homeschool, they're going to end up smarter, book smarter anyway. And as long as I put them in activities, they'll be able to function just fine sociably. So it is. Melissa, I'm really interested on your take on things because it seemed like that was going to bug you that I said a woman can't make a king, but a king can make a queen. Oh, yeah, I agree. So Melissa said she believes a woman can build a man to depths that he couldn't believe or he couldn't achieve without her. You know why that is? It's one word: nurturing. A woman's entire nature is nurturing. You're the nurturers. We're not. We can learn to nurture, right? We can definitely do that. We can learn to nurture, we can learn to support, we can learn empathy. This isn't something we're just naturally given. Like you get a group of guys together, well, at least my generation. I don't know about. Nah, I listen to my son and they're harsh with each other. We are mean. Maybe Corey, I have to imagine you and your boys get together. There's got to be a lot of y'all not always kind to each other.
No.
Like we're mean to Tyler, and he's just sitting in the room. I blamed him for something. Like it wasn't even his fault. It's just what we do. We're just mean to each other. we're mean to each other. And like it's what's it called? jesting. We just talk a lot of crap to each other, and it's what keeps us honest. It keeps us from having an ego with each other because we're always talking crap to each other. You add a woman to that dynamic, and she starts talking crap. It changes the dynamic of it. Yeah, it hurts way more when a woman talks crap. It's like, yo, why you getting so personal? Like, why you hurting my feelings? And we can't. And the thing is, we can't joke around with women the same way either, because it'll hurt their feelings as well. And so we want to be nurtured from our women, and nurtured. We want to be built up for sure. We want to be told that we're dope, that we're the man, that we're killing it, that you're proud of us and all this stuff. And the same is like us saying we appreciate you, we love you, we you look gorgeous today, you look sexy today, you're, oh my goodness, I couldn't do this without you. It's like you're building each other up differently. And so yeah, it's super important. Super important. So, but a lot, yeah, a lot of times it's a presentation with women. Because women, you got to realize us men, we're sensitive creatures. We're only sensitive with women too. We're not really like some men. Some men, what do we call those men female dogs that take it what up, that take it too serious with other dudes. It's like, man, why you being up right now? So, but when it comes to women, we're super sensitive, especially our significant others, especially our wives. It's like, if a woman comes to us and just starts, trying to think of an example. So if Melissa, if you came to me and said, we've lost 5 students this month, what's going on? What are you doing? It's like, wait a minute. What are you talking? Like, what? There's a better way to approach that. It's like, hey, I'm recognizing that some students canceled their membership. Um, yeah, yep. How can I better support you? Or say, hey, I'm feeling worried because we've lost some students, and I'm worried about money. I'm worried about this, because instantly I want to like solve that problem. It's like all we want to do is be a knight in shining armor. Like, as much as society wants to change things, there's things embedded in us. Someone said no, man. I'm curious why you saying no. Um, there's just things embedded in us that we can never get rid of. The amount of evolution that would need to happen, we're never going to see in our lifetime. So a man wants to be a knight in shining armor. He wants to hold his woman down. He wants to know that he's doing a good job. He wants to protect her in every way. He wants to be responsible for handling and solving these issues. Oh man, I really wish I could remember her name right now. She's an older woman. She's written a few books, and she talks about how men are just like dogs. Women say men are like dogs, and they are. They want to greet you at the door. They want to nestle with you. They want to cuddle with you. They want to protect you. They want to be there and help you. They want to love you. Men are just like dogs, and they'll forgive and keep coming around and take whatever you have and keep coming back. And so to me, what really defines manhood, I'll bring it all the way back: being responsible of others, mastering yourself, being a leader, and showing self-control, which I think goes into self-mastery. So I'm curious. You know what? I'm not curious. I've just realized that the older I get, the more I understand why things were the way they were. Now, I'm not talking about women not voting, and I'm not talking about all that, but I'm saying why there were defined roles. Because things just function better when you understand the defined roles and understand men and women are just different creatures. They look at life so different. The way they communicate is different. And we live in a society, to me anyway, that seems like everything is catered one way. And I don't think the world functions really well that way. I think when you learn how to live within both, the world functions much better. Where a man can be a man and a woman can be a woman. And what's wrong with that? Thoughts on that? Anyone in the studio? A man being a man? Yeah. Queen Robin, thank you. I'm listening still. When I said, oh yeah, define when I say define the roles, I don't mean like house chores and things like that. Like I like doing dishes. I do laundry at least 50% of the time. Like I vacuum. I'm not talking about house chores, right? What I'm talking about is define roles as far as the man needs to be the straight line, period. We've just functioned better as the straight line. We know how to compartmentalize. We know we can deal with stresses a little bit better. We stay if we're truly on top of our stuff, we are in control of our own emotions, right? Where a woman is going to be chaotic and there's beauty in the chaos, right? And I'm not just talking about chaos like as far as she's emotionally unstable. I'm talking about like she's emotionally unstable, but in the best way possible. Like that doesn't mean she's always yelling or crying. It means she likes to have fun. She's gonna be spontaneous. She's gonna she's always gonna want to do something. And sometimes we need that, right? To keep us from being stale and just doing the same things. Yeah. See, here's the funny thing. You said so Melissa said she's in studio. She talked about how women could do that when basically they're being led. And um Queen Robin, I'm gonna get to that and chime in. What I'll say is we no longer live in the same times. So I truly believe a woman has to allow herself to be led. It's funny because no, a man should be able to lead. Well, if a man and who is what's that singer that she said it on the Breakfast Club. She played in Tyler Perry's movie. It wasn't Janet Jackson. Yeah, it wasn't. It was the same movie though. She's the one that got cheated on. It doesn't matter. But she said, a man can tell me what to do if a man can tell me what to do. And here's the thing. If I say, hey, you should really sit down and chill out, you're doing too much. Just take a breath, sit down for 10 minutes, and then let's figure this out. If your first instinct is, don't tell me what to do, there's an issue right there. There's an issue because there's a reason why I'm saying that, right? There's a reason why I'm suggesting this. Of course, there's a but trust can't just be trust has to be given while it's also being earned. So herein lies the problem that men are dealing with, and women are too. Don't get it twisted. If a woman gets hurt by another man, she can think she dealt with that pain until she gets with a new man. It's going to show its head. And now you're asking that man to be patient and deal with that. Deal with the hurt from another man. Then if that one doesn't work, now that next man has to deal with two. You see how that's going up? That becomes an issue. And then if a man's like, hey, just sit down next to me, chill for 10 minutes, we'll be able to solve this problem. Let's just take 10 minutes, gather ourselves. And if you're bringing all that pain from all those other relationships, now you're asking the man to be patient with something different. Now, hopefully he can recognize that you're just hurt, that some of your previous relationships are showing, and he could stay calm. The issue is that sometimes he's bringing damaged goods too. And so now you got two damaged ass people trying to tell each other what to do. And it's like, what the hell is going on? And it gets crazy out there in the streets. I'm happy I'm not living in the streets and dealing with that. So yeah, you're asking a man to be stable. And it's why you have all these red pill podcasts now where saying men don't even deal with women like that. If a woman's already been married, she's already got kids, don't even put yourself in that situation because it's going to be a lose-lose for you. If you hook up with her, you start being a father to those kids, the relationship doesn't work, kids are gone, right? If you are established in business and she comes in, she might be able to take half if you don't have a prenup. So it's a weird time now. It's where it's so different. And I don't know the exact cause. I know when you listen to these red pill conversations, they blame feminism. I don't know if I'll go that far. Well, it is interesting though that I read an interesting report that the CIA was behind feminism. And it's so smart that they push the narrative in order to get two people working so that they could tax more. It makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense. Well, someone's rich. Someone's rich. Someone's making money on it. So it makes sense to me. Like it's someone pushed the narrative and it needed men to push it. So it makes sense. Women couldn't do it by themselves and they needed men in order to make it happen. A lot of it's being mature adult, and a lot of people in this life aren't. Yeah, a lot of people think they're adults. They don't understand what that being an adult truly is. What could you scroll up a little bit, Corey? Because she said something earlier. Okay. I've I've really seen the role of a man since my husband has been incarcerated. Men have a lot on them. They play a big role in life and in marriage. Yeah. Yeah. Like, look, we're the shield. We're supposed to be able to handle all this. We're supposed to be able to handle the pressures of life and be able to hold things down and bring it together. So but it's funny because only a man can teach another man. He either learns it on his own or he learns it from a man. Because to me, a woman can never teach a man how to be a man, just like a man can't teach a woman how to be a woman. Just can't happen. So that's why it's so important that we're in our kids' life. I think I talked about that a few podcasts ago. Like, I have no sympathy and understanding for a man not being in their child's life. It makes no sense. Since my son has been like 4, I've told him he's the man of the house when I'm not there. But his sister or his mom's in charge, right? And so it's important. It's important to encourage that and then explain what that means. So I don't know. It'd be really easy for me to say women messed it all up, but I believe men messed it up just as much. I believe men took advantage of a beautiful life. They they messed up and didn't appreciate what they had at home. You had essentially, if you think about back in the day, a man could work, come home, and his wife raised those kids and made sure the house was clean and made sure he cooked. And all you had to do is show her appreciation. All you had to do is not let the stresses overwhelm you so much that you couldn't be kind to this woman. It's not hard to be kind. I'm excluding having a stopping at a bar and having a drink. I'm excluding seeing a side piece or something. Like the moment you got home, you got to show some appreciation for that woman. You have to. That's your job as a man. Appreciate that woman. Know her value and role in your life. Yeah. And it's up to that woman to make sure that she's being a valuable asset to that man. And I said it like that on purpose because it is an asset. Stats still roll with me on this one. Melissa's not gonna like this one. She's not gonna like this one. She's gonna hate this one. It's easier for a man to find a woman than it is for a woman to find a man. The same 10 to 20% of men keep being chosen because a woman wants a man who's somewhat ambitious, that is somewhat educated, that has self-control in some ways. So it's the same men getting picked over and over and over again. And a woman will take a married man in a heartbeat. So whereas like because and some of it could be put on us that we just care about less. We have lower standards. Maybe that's the better way to put it. Men have lower standards when it comes to women than women do of men. Would that be fair? Is that a better way of saying it, Corey? That might be a better way. So right now, if you were single, Corey, would you need a woman in your life that was running the show? Yeah, would you? Is that what you're like yearning for? Is that what you would go after? Oh, well, yeah, but smarter than you in what regard? Are they book smarter than you?
Yeah.
Are they street smarter than you?
No.
Okay, yeah, you picked the opposite. You made sure they were smarter than you in a realm where you were weakest. Yeah, that's why you picked a good partner. Yeah, that makes sense. Do you require her to work? If you had enough, here's the best way to say it. If you made enough money to make sure all the bills were covered and you could still go on vacation, do you care if she worked? Find a woman that'll say that about a man and mean it. I'm all ears. I'm waiting. I'll wait forever. I want to hear a woman say it, but please comment something. Find some. I love that. I love that. How many men really, Tyler, if you made enough money to pay all the bills, enjoy a savings account, have a vacation, make sure your kids were covered, do you need a woman to work? Man, you see what I'm saying? It's so simple. Well, then, yeah, but we're not requiring her. You see the difference? Yeah, we don't require. Yeah, where go ask a woman, hey, if you made enough money, the bills are all paid. Do you care if a man just sits at home and takes care of the house? Man, no. He better get a job. Like that's just how it is, and that's okay. The only ones that have problems typically if you say something like that is a woman. We don't care. We don't care if a woman works. We don't care if she does this. Do what you want to do that's going to bring you the most happiness. Because the one thing I've learned looking at my looking at my female friends, looking at my students, looking at my daughter, looking at my wife, my ex-wife, like all the women I've had in my life. A man can sit down and chill, right? Corey, can you just chill at home? Can you sit on the couch and chill for a second? I said a second, B.
A second, yeah.
A second. Could you play a video game? Could you watch a Star Wars movie? Could you take 10 minutes out of your life and just be like, okay, let me just chill for a hot second? Oh, bro, you had a different. You know how many men that I know that could play a video game?
The only video games I played with the kids, so it's part of the family.
Okay, but you're playing video games, right? Yeah. You know how many women I don't know that can sit down and play a video game even with their family? They got to go do something. Something needs to get done. Laundry needs to get done. This needs to get done. This needs to get done. It's like, man, if you don't sit your head, just chill for a second. Take a breather. Kick your feet up for a second. And it's the expectations that gets built on them from childhood. Interesting. What you think, Melissa? Man. Yeah. Moms push it on their daughters, but they make sure those boys go outside and play. I'm telling you, moms create it, man. Moms create it. Yeah, but does he feel overwhelmed, stressed about getting all this stuff done? Yeah, see? That's what I'm saying. We're just built different. And that's okay. Men and women are built different, and it's the yin and yang of life. And I think more men would become a man if they realize that. You can't talk to your girl the way you talk to your boys. It's going to cause problems. You got to understand she's softer. You got to treat her different. And that's okay. And women got to recognize men are sensitive. Just can't talk to a man anyway because we can't respond the same way. This is the one thing that I always talk about. It's not that we're being a punk or any other word you want to get in there. We can't talk to you the same way. Because if a dude talked to us the way that, man, I had one of my guys call me up like a month ago and he told me what his girl said. And I was like, man, if she was a dude, he was like, that's what I said. If she was a dude, I would have went upside her head. Like you don't understand. Like, we don't take disrespect from other men. If you're our boy and we talk mess, yeah. But there's still a line, right? We won't cross. So it's just understanding that. Yeah. See, this would all be fixed if we had a family nucleus. Take a woman raised that's got her dad around. She understands how to function around men. Have a man that grew up with his dad. He understands how to function as a man. Craziness. In 10 years, 15 years, and 20 years, we're going to blame this on Bonnie Blue. Sorry, just had to plug that in. That's funny to me.
Shit, I'm about to go wait in this place when you dropping the bass in. The beat inside the streets of awaken. I'm making to break my foot off of somebody's ass. I'm waiting for someone to say my name so I can annihilate them. Okay, bitch. Everyone was screaming the rape when I was kicking at the gate till it caved in. Belly scraping by, but now I'm paid. Look at the paper I break and I'm caking like Jay-Z and Drake. And I hate when people say that I ain't killing shit. The game is my playpen. I punch you in the face and end up breaking your break bands. I'm far from Hollywood. I'm posted up with the Daisy. Even though the industry say I'm the latest sensation. Drop the stuff at the war show. Becoming complacent. Mama saw me on TV with just a bum in the basement. You a Captain Saber, who you I think your baby mama